old film. Sean Penn, James Gandolfini, and an actress I've never seen before. She's great in the movie. Plays the main sort of female role. Yeah, I just thought it was a sweet, nice film. I mean, obviously there are things in it that obviously aren't so pleasant, but obviously it's all about someone who's kind of insane, who obviously she fell in love with. And I think it works. And I think there is something there that, even though you notice that he's crazy and kind of all over the place, but their love is so true. And I just really enjoyed this movie. I think there's great dialogue in it. I think there's great performances. Sean Penn's fantastic. That girl, I don't know who she is. She's great. Um, and I just thought it's just a great film. I mean, it's got a lot of content in there. It's got lots of character and stuff and dialogue, which I always really enjoy. And the way they talk back and forth with each other is great. The characters. I love James Gandolfini's part in it. I think he's fantastic. It's kind of nice to find sort of Gandolfini stuff recently because of his death in last year. It's sad, and it's great to see him on screen. He plays this sort of very Gandolfini-esque character, but he plays it really well. And obviously, because Violent Daisy I saw recently, and he was great in that as well. Um, but it's great to see that Sean Penn plays a different kind of role because I'd never actually seen this side of Sean Penn before. That lunatic plus sort of asthma kind of thing. Like he's like it's like amnesia. Like he's like lost his memory, and he's kind of like of the 10 years that he's been stuck in the loony pit. That he's gone sort of the other way. That he's lost. He doesn't realize that it's been that long, and when you watch that part of the movie, it's a completely different character from the beginning of the movie to the like near the end of the movie. And that was interesting to see that transition. And I'm not saying that Sean Penn hasn't played a lunatic character before, because he obviously has, but not in this way that he plays a lunatic and everyone knows he's a lunatic, but then they don't sort of force upon it, if that makes sense. And they just sort of lay back and he's insane. Where in like other movies like Colors, and it's not a great film, I know, but for example, someone would speak down to him and say, "Oh, you're crazy, you're insane," and tell him off, and then he'd realize. But this character he plays, he doesn't actually realize how crazy he is, and he just keeps going on and on. And I think in that way, he hasn't played that sort of lunatic side of a character before, because he does stuff that's absolutely insane. I mean, there's one scene where he starts ripping into this guy in the bar, saying about you're the military and all this, and then he starts getting a bit hysterical, and then these people come to take him away because the Homeland Security know he's been causing a fuss around the place, and then he shoots one of them in the chest, and it's like, oh my God! I mean, it is insane. Like someone who's obviously very ill would act that way, and then obviously then the scene that follows, he's at this bus stop and he's talking to this lady, and he just talking to her like nothing's wrong at all, and just he's got blood on his face. He's like, yeah, I'm waiting for the bus. I'm waiting for the bus. People wait for the buses. And you're waiting for the bus and everything. It's like nothing violent has happened, but she just sees the blood on his face and just walks away like anyone would. It's like, oh my God. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this movie to love. I think there's a good solid thing about love, which sometimes just kind of gets scattered around in some movies now and just completely forgotten. And it's also nice in that they make it real that it's both got flaws and positives. Like obviously John Travolta, kind of a hothead and too much. the way he swears like a soldier and everything. That's obviously his main flaw. And Sean Penn's very sort of rehabilitated now and less insane. So obviously the insaneness of what's coming out of John Travolta's character and doing all that swearing, that's all sort of what he once was, you know? And he's very sort of calm sort of person now, which is interesting because when you watch the beginning of the film, it's completely different to how you would have expected his character to be. But personally, I think this film is really, really great. I think it's a subtle kind of greatness. I think there's lots of great character stuff in there. There's lots of great dialogue, and it has just about the right amount of depth, and it works. And I just think it's great. I mean, I think performances are spot on. I think everything works. I don't think there's really anything to complain about other than, well, nothing. I mean, it's a good length, hour and 28 minutes, I think, and directed by Nick Cassavetes, obviously the director. He's related to John Cassavetes, the big director, and yeah. So I enjoyed this film, and I would recommend it highly. I think if you're a Sean Penn fan, then definitely jump in the boat. And there's actually a reference to the boat, rocking the boat, but I won't go into that because you need to watch the film. But yeah, I really like this film, and I hope you like it too. So I give this film a 9.